Alright, so if you've played Metal Gear Rising, as a lot of people have, you know, all of the players are assembled here. We've got Raiden, we've got our high-frequency blade, and we've got the rays. Yeah, you can't actually do anything with that. Instead, I hope you've played Metal Gear Solid 1. Because, remember those finger shenanigans we had to do? Where we were throwing chaff grenades, of which I don't have very many. And we were just... Oh!
Right, respond. Right, Raiden!
Not quite rules of nature. Alright. Let's do it for real. Chaff grenade, of which I do not have many. I really should have gone back. If only they had let me go back. Where's the... Okay. If only they had let me go back further, you know, through the first shell. And let me pick up a bunch of gear right before I was locked into the final fight against the Metal Gear. But no. No, they didn't. So we're locked down into combat with a bunch of rays. We don't really have a great way to fight them. Your best bet is to shoot them in the knee and then shoot them in the mouth when they scream in pain because, yeah, they've been programmed to do that for some reason. Of course, they can block our shots with their arms, and you really do want to use your chaff grenades. You can also see there's a ton of them in the background. Now, we don't have to fight all of them, thank goodness. It's actually a different amount depending on your difficulty. We're on normal, so I don't actually remember how many you have to fight, but I think you only have to fight 20 on the higher difficulties. I think we might have like 10 or so we have to fight. And we defeated one, so this guy comes up here, and you might be tempted to go all rules of nature, but yeah, unfortunately, no. No, they hadn't thought of fighting a Ray with a samurai sword yet. I also believe this Ray is a bit smaller than the Marine Ray. And the Rays we might be seeing in the future. I don't know, though. It at least feels smaller. It might be a perspective thing, but I think... Oh, it's much smaller, yeah. See, look, when we get next to the foot, it's not that big. I mean, it's still pretty big, but it's not as big as other Rays. But that's because these are the AI production, mass production models. Oh, thanks for the stinger ammo. Yep. And we're just running around. You know, this fight is kind of just like a worse version of the fight against Rex. And I think there's a lot of narrative themes there and that it says a lot about society, but also I think it's just a worse version of the fight against Metal Gear Rex, just gonna dodge there. Oh look, when he shoots, the ground little hexagons pop up. So, is this a VR mission? I don't know. I will say that's kind of the point, is you're meant to not know and you're meant to question what's happening here. I think that's kind of cool. I like questioning, you know, the idea of like questioning what's real. I don't think that's terrible. Maybe I'm just biased because I think Rays are cool and this whole setup is neat. I do wish the fight was a little, I don't know, more something. It's just kind of not very anything. Honestly, most of the boss fights so far in this game... Oh. I should have stopped aiming. Most of the boss fights in this game are kind of like nothing. They're just kind of not Oh, jeez. Oh my god. Okay, so this is the finger shenanigans part. By the way, they still have the water cutter. This is the finger shenanigans part where you need to... Oh, check it out. He tries to stomp on us. Switch back and forth between Chaff and Stinger. And dodge rolling. And that Ray's face was all up in our face. That was pretty cool. Also, yeah, it's not even that difficult because you can see they just like to spawn that ration right in the middle, so you're not in too much of you know, you're not in that much danger as long as you can just kind of finagle your way there. Yes. The raid that's named A05E, if you look, it kind of looks like with that font, it says Rose. I believe the fight is over when you defeat that Ray. Get it? Because it's Rose. Do you get it? It says a lot about society and narrative themes. So, this is our Metal Gear fight, huh? Remember the big dramatic sequence of events with Rex? Remember all that? You know, when Gray Fox came out to help us, and we were like, it's no good, I can't shoot, and it was very dramatic, and it was very cool. Certainly the stakes here are higher because we're fighting a lot of Rays, but we already know that these are crappy Rays, you know? They're not even the good Rays. I don't know, I think it says a lot about society. I think the way they're constantly firing very difficult to dodge missiles at me, I think it says a lot about society. And these times we live in, and I think it's a poignant masterpiece. Yep, the Rose Ray is the final one, as you can... Oh no, another one came out. I sure do wish you would make your legs and face be vulnerable more often. Again, you remember when I was saying in 1 that there's not a lot of let in the fight? And it would be a better fight if there was, like, more to do and there was more let. Well, they decided there should be less to do and there should be less let. And it's difficult to know because everyone kind of who puts on their thinking cap about this game will tell you that everything is a deliberate choice, such as those missiles firing in such perfect intervals as to disallow me... Sweet. Sweet, I don't have any chaff grenades at all. Disallow me to get up, but thank goodness, you know, I had invincibility frames. People will tell you that that was crappy on purpose to prove a point. No, again, I just think the game's a little rough, a little jank. I don't think this fight... I think the setup of this fight, the impossible odds, so many Rays, you know, all that, I think that's deliberate. But I think that it being kind of just... I don't know. I think it being kind of crummy is just the fight being kind of crummy. Does that make sense? It is kind of cool that you can cartwheel out of the way of the missiles. I mean, like, that's neat. And it's over now, so, you know. No way, Jose! Imagine if this was Leon instead of Raiden. Imagine if somehow they put Leon on this mission and he was, like, actually making jokes like that.
I expected a little more fight than that, Jack.
Oh, please, no Steppy! No Steppy! Ah, look, here's our ninja here to save us.
So you decided to show yourself.
She probably should have had the Mr. X outfit on just to,
Oh, don't do this.
you know.
No.
Not only as a callback, but she probably would have stood more of a chance. Like, what if he didn't order it to stop?
This is suicide.
Your nanomachines, they're transmitting your vital signs to the Patriots. If you die, my child dies.
Once again, you already told us that.
I see. So that's why you sold your troops out to me. So many dead, and they all died trusting you.
We already, like, they like to repeat
Were
plot
they your
points a lot.
comrades?
No, not just comrades, family.
Huh?
I know I'm going to hell, but at least my child.
I applaud your attitude. If you have a death wish,
Ah, anyway, shut up. No problems with the game when this dude's on screen.
see you in hell!
Look, he's using the snake arms. He's gotcha. Olga is cool, though, you know. I don't want to see her lose. But, then when a guy does that, he's spinning a P90. Look how he's spinning it, too. He's spinning it on, like, the rear grip part.
Live! You have to.
Oh. Oh, look at Raiden's face here. It's really funny. Little pouty, like... "Oh." No, that's really sad. I do genuinely think Olga was cool. It sucks to see her, die like that, but it does make Solidus seem like so much more of a fucking baller. Why do people not talk about him? Why does no one talk about Solidus? Look how cool he is.
Enjoy the show, Jack.
He spun a P90 around and he grabbed that lady and just, like, shot her in the head, like, without a care. And look, now he's commanding the race? But oh no.
What's going on?
They're not listening to him.
What's wrong with it? AI, GW, it's out of control. What?
Look at them, they're going nuts, which is honestly really scary and really cool. Like, Rey is really kind of a horrible nightmare thing. It barely looks like a robot. It just looks like a big mechanical dinosaur demon. Oh, it's a PowerPoint presentation.
Throughout the neural network. I can't shut it down.
What happened?
Maybe some kind of virus.
The Patriots?
I don't know.
Ocelot, what have you been up to?
It's too late. Arsenal system control is going haywire. It's on an emergency ascent course.
The computer's running wild. Hey, if you get that reference, you get a smooch on the cheek from Jessica.
Machines.
Anyway, check this out. It would be a shame if this whole sequence was just an excuse for Solidus to be even cooler. Why does no one talk about him? Serious question. Alright, forget all the thinking cap shit. Why does no one talk about how cool Solidus is? Look at him dodging bullets, doing like exploding leaps, and now look at this! That's so cool! And look at him! Check this out. Oh, don't even need to look at you. Access denied. More like access dead. Hey, look. Look, and then he de-hulks.
Damn them.
Look at how cool he is, man. No one talks about this guy. Why does no one talk about him? Please, can we start talking about Solidus? Just as a society. I know this game says a lot about society. But can society talk more about this badass motherfucker? He's so rad. Might notice there he's got 2 samurai swords. He hasn't taken them out yet. Oh, look! Fortune beat Snake! Nobody actually plays MGS2. They just read the synopsis and plot analysis. Yeah, they just watch... they don't even read anymore. They just watch some guy's video. I know you're watching some guy's video right now. But they just watch a video by some guy who says, I'm very smart because I get this game. And then they watch it and they go, oh, I get it too. I am very smart. They don't actually play it, because you notice I'm enjoying a lot of this game.
Are you awake yet,
I'm calling out a lot of garbage, but when something's cool, I'm not going to pretend it's not cool. Oh,
beyond repair. I admit that I underestimated.
look, it's just like this. It's hi, Ocelot. It's just like MGS1. Yeah, when something's actually cool, it's cool.
My son.
And I will tell you that it is cool. But when something's, hit the action button. Oh, God. I'm hitting it. 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 Okay.
What do you hope to hear? You know he doesn't know anything.
Thank you for stopping this.
It's not him I want the answers from.
Yeah, game is cool when it's cool. It's lame when it's lame.
What do you
Overall,
mean?
there's a lot of things it does that are great. There's a lot of things it does that are not so great. Now, if you look at the design of those knees there, that is the Marine Ray, which does look much larger. Especially with the Solidus for scale. But yeah, no one plays MGS2. They just watch a video of a guy who played it. And that guy tells you he's really smart for getting it, so they think they're really smart for agreeing with him. When really, like, it's a much better game to play and experience for yourself. This is why I'm adamant to people, hey, if you've never played the games, go into them blind and form your own goddamn opinions.
Far from impregnable. It needs other Metal Gears as guards, a huge payload of warheads, and full air, sea, and land support to function efficiently against a large attack.
Solidus is one of the few characters outside of a period piece I can think of to actually wear his swords correctly. Yeah, man, he's got the real samurai spirit.
Was never the real objective.
What was your objective then?
A list of names of the Patriots. They were planning to extend their control to digital information flow with GW and Arsenal. That means the information they want to filter out is contained in GW, including that list of the highest 12 members of the Patriots Wiseman's Committee.
And once you knew who they were, you would cross out their names one by one.
Yeah, with my cool samurai swords.
Arsenal drew their fire.
I assume that's how he would have
You were using us all
beat everyone up.
Were you any different?
He really likes his samurai
But your
swords.
plans hit a snag with GW destroyed, hasn't it?
There's going to be a lot of plot without a lot of gameplay.
there
And
is
it's
another
cool
way.
plot, but I wish the pacing was better.
But we have our own
I
plans
feel
to
like
carry
this...
out. We'll
I feel
take
like a lot of
Arsenal
these
since you don't
revelations
care
should have
for it
happened,
anyway.
like, actually
purified
halfway
hydrogen
through the
bonds
game and
ready
not
to
in the
go.
very
A nuclear
end.
strike won't stop them.
Again, I feel like there should be an entire extra
Damage their
gameplay
power
sequence.
source. The mindless masses that they control.
It's just
First
weird.
things first.
Of course.
It's just weird,
That was
because,
what
like...
you wanted. I won't stop you. Good luck.
Thanks.
Listen, even his
That's
voice,
quite
he's
enough
so
of that.
cool. I know I... Oh, no. Sorry, I got bored of not hearing my own voice.
Find so funny.
So now it's time for me to reveal something about your revelations. You see, you're all idiots. Only I, Revolver Ocelot, the main character, understand what's really going on. Allow me to
What are you
explain it to
talking
you
about?
in a lengthy cutscene.
Everything you've done here has been scripted. A little exercise.
Yeah, look, see, the game was like a crappy version of MGS1 on purpose, so if you criticize any of the gameplay, you're not as smart as me because you don't understand the game.
Paul with Solid Snake. That's what I told you.
And it's a crappy game on purpose because you're bad for liking Metal Gear Solid 1. I'm very smart.
The project.
That's why, to this day, the director of this game, even when he's not working on the Metal Gear IP anymore, can't help but put imagery from Metal Gear Solid 1 in his games. Because you're stupid for liking it. It all says a lot about society.
Ames and the president's deaths.
Yeah, so he's going to spell out what was, I mean, again, how old was I when this game came out? I was like 13 or so.
Did you really think they were all a coincidence?
And, like, this wasn't, like, a huge revelation to me, you know? I was like...
were used to shut down his pacemaker.
I was like, oh yeah, this is like this is like that, this scene looks like this.
I arranged for the appearance of the ninja as well.
I don't know, I wasn't, like, particularly smart for my age either, I don't think.
Although
I just feel like a lot of it was
what
obvious.
going on, he played out his allotted part. As for the computer virus, it's a digital counterpart.
What possible purpose could recreating Shadow Moses have? Why not just do more VR training? Well, you see, it's because we need to recreate Shadow Moses to make a situation. We need to make such a big situation as a stress test for the Patriot AI to see if the government Patriot propaganda war machine can lie to you enough and make it seem as though it never happened. That's the purpose. That's really fucking dangerous and poorly thought out. Cause, like, what if they couldn't suppress it? You know? What if they weren't able to suppress this?
This exercise would have ended there.
Yeah. It would have been really fucking bad.
The project has no room for failures.
What do you mean?
Given the right situation, the right story, anyone can be shaped into Snake.
See your memes.
Even rookies can fight like men of experience.
Again, this is a cool idea. I like this idea. I like the idea of Raiden starting as a Snake's mimetic clone.
Would provide more than enough data to formulate
Solidus
such a
being
program.
Big Boss's mimetic clone, kind of wrapping together Metal Gear 2 and Shadow Moses into a simulation. And the whole idea is for Arsenal Gear, which is, again, the government propaganda AI machine, to see if it could censor and suppress all of this information. That's neat. That's actually really neat. I actually genuinely really like that as a plot point.
Stand in for the Foxhound squad that Snake took on.
I love everything Ocelot's explaining here. I don't like the way we got here, I think is my problem. I don't really like, hey, what's that gray thing on your hip there? What is that?
Hydrogen bombs is just the tip of the iceberg.
Is that going to come into play later? Who knows?
Project was already underway when I sunk that tank.
But yeah,
along with your old man 2 years ago.
Oh no,
Throwing your husband in the brig was a part of it.
Ocelot, wait, you killed Sergei Gorlukovich and Scott Dolph? Yeah, we already knew that. We saw it.
And encouraged your hatred. And you opted for vengeance, just as we planned.
I do love Ocelot here, though. He's so cool. I do, like, again, I like this. I like the explanation. I like the reveal.
Real Solid Snake.
And then, oh look, once again, Solid Snake is an outlier. He is a variable. He is the X factor. You cannot, oh no! You can't, you know, like, prepare for him because he happens to the plot. One of those characters.
How could...
You're no Lady Luck. You have nothing that we didn't give you.
What?
What?
Yeah, I like this part of the game. I just wish getting to it was more... Again, I said this game is very inelegant. And I think that's...
Or some new age
mumbo jumbo.
Certainly wasn't your psychic talent.
I think that this game's issue really is it's pacing.
You were being shielded by the electromagnetic weapons technology.
Look, scene even shows you that he was using it early on. That's why they couldn't hit him when he walked into Ray there.
Your Dead Cell comrades loved your father and husband.
But it's very inelegant. I feel like rather than this being a masterwork that just perfectly weaves narrative and meta-narrative into a thematic piece of brilliance. The chef's kiss of... No, I think it's very inelegant with a lot of what it does. I think it kind of beats you over the head with things that you probably could have noticed on your own, and then falls short in other ways in terms of just, like, what the hell did we do on the Big Shell, you know? We froze a bunch of bombs. That's all we did. We didn't really fight that many freak show bosses. We didn't really recreate Shadow Moses very well, did we? And so it's just that I have a problem with this game. I like what it's trying to do. I just think it doesn't stick the landing, and I wish more people would be able to see it and phrase it like that, of their own accord, not just to inherit my memes. That's a real medical condition, by the way. I didn't know that. There's like a ton of people whose anatomy is flipped horizontally. And like they'll never know it because, you know, unless you get an x-ray, there's no way for you to... There's like I think it's like 3 million people worldwide, like, that probably have it that are undiagnosed. Hey, he goes raw! I love when he goes raw! Anyway, yeah, I still like this game a lot. I just think it's rough around the edges. And calling it a masterpiece is just being disingenuous. Like, come on, buddy, you know better. You know it's messy. Look, he had missiles in his snake arms! How does no one talk about Solidus? He's so cool! He's so cool, man! You want to talk about a bunch of bullshit narrative themes, but you don't want to talk about the Samurai ex-president, Cycloptic, Dr. Octopus, Big Boss, Cyborg Ninja, Incredible Hulk? You want to spew some mumbo jumbo that some guy in an article told you to spew? You don't want to just play the fucking game and see this guy go rawr and fight against big robots? What the hell's wrong with you?
Enough data. All I have to do is retrieve Arsenal.
Oh, that's so cool. I love Ray, dude. Ray is so cool.
Just try.
Look at this! He's like, just try, and he unsheaths his katanas! Look what he's about to do! He's so cool! No one has played this video game, dude. More people would be talking about this. People think Metal Gear Rising and Twin Snakes are over the line when this shit happens in this game. In this game, dude!
How's this then?
And look what else is about to happen. She was dead, by the way. She was basically dead.
Fortune!
You idiot! Get the hell away from
And
there.
he's like, yeah, you're just a fucking lady. What the hell is wrong with you?
I told you, your luck's run
So
out.
this I like.
Take your reward.
This I like a lot too. This I like a lot too because this kind of goes with the themes in a way that I think works and is cool. Because you can have narrative themes that are good. You can. I'm not allergic to narrative themes. I like how Snake's looking out for everyone here. But yeah, no, she just deflects those. Never explains. And you know what? Good. Don't explain it. It's cooler that they don't explain it. Some things don't need to be explained. And if you really want an explanation, Snake is going to give one to you.
She is Lady Luck.
That's it. That's your explanation. I guess she's magic. That's fine.
My name
Fortune rules, I genuinely think.
Dolph Jackson. The daughter of a proud and noble...
Again, her design, I just see a Cammy cosplayer. She just needs the little red hat.
I can
But no, she's cool.
see my family.
Her design's still good. Her theme is good. I like her place in the story. I like that she gets that moment. Her death doesn't feel pointless.
Damn.
Like, because she actually got a cool-ass moment there.
Try this instead. No!
Oh, look at that. Oh, what's happening? The game's getting cool again. I don't care that I haven't played. At this point, it's like, oh, I don't care that I haven't played for a while. Because everything that's happening is fucking rad, right? Like, you can put me in a long-ass, half an hour long cutscene. If all this shit's gonna happen, look at how it's standing upright. Look how big it is. Get ready for this ham of a performance.
Brothers!
Yeah!
Liquid.
The hair comes out again.
I've been waiting for this.
Ah, yeah!
It can't be.
Look at all the snakes here. There are 4 snakes here, when you really think about it.
I've been inside this arm all along, waiting for the right time to awaken.
So, the digital graphic novel, the way they handle this is way cooler. Again, definitely watch that when you get the chance.
Exactly. I was controlling
In that, it's not Cam Clark's voice coming out of Ocelot. It's always Ocelot's voice, but he has a couple ticks. He'll accidentally refer to Saldus as brother. His manner of speech, his vocal intonation changes a little bit. But in his mind, and in front of his eyes, there is, like, literally Liquid Snake's ghost tormenting Ocelot the entire time. It's so cool.
I have a family matter to settle with both of you. There's room for only one snake and one big boss.
Again, I think it's handled a little more eloquently, a little better in that. I like the themes of this game. I like the plot of this game. I like the gameplay of this game. I just don't like the, situational setup, I guess. The pacing, you know? It's just the playing the game part. It's a little rough. It's a little rough, but it's so cool. Look, and then he says that. He's such an asshole. Liquid, you're so cool. All the snakes are so cool. Hey, remember when his handcuffs got hit before by a stray bullet? And weakened him just enough for him to pull out of the handcuffs because Snake is so cool.
Hey, Snake, you coming?
Look, he loves it. What is your plan, Snake? You're gonna fucking swim after the ray? Hell yeah, he is, because he's solid goddamn Snake. This game's awesome again. No problems. Why do people not talk about the game like this? Why do you have to make the most boring, egg-headed article about this game? Why can't you just pop off at the peak fiction, man? Hey, there's some removed footage here. There was going to be an entire sequence of Arsenal Gear crashing into the New York coast, and it was going to crash by a pair of buildings you might be familiar with. They removed that because this game came out in November of 2001, and they didn't want to invoke any imagery. And what's it get replaced with then, right? What's the missing footage get replaced with? You know, what are we gonna see here? Nothing, a fade to white, and then you want to talk about inelegant. You want to see something inelegant. Look at this jump cut! What the fuck happened? What happened? Why are we on Federal Hall? I'm sorry, the game has problems. It can't be a misunderstood masterpiece when things like that just happen, you know? Also, there was meant to be American flags in this scene. The Master Collection, you can mod them back in. They're all intact, they're just invisible. So he looks over at nothing. He's meant to look over at the American flag. That's meant to pan up to the American flag. They took them away because, again, the game came out in November 2001. Man, Saldus loves it.
What are you laughing at?
Do you know what day it is today?
This again.
April 30th?
April 30th. But yeah, there's just like a lot of messy stuff. There's still just a lot of messy stuff.
George Washington took office as the first president of the United States of America 200 years ago today. And it happened right
The
here.
character was Liquid Snake all along. You don't say, yeah, they did that 2 games in a row. 2 games in a row. Still pretty cool, though.
The end of the Patriots' secret rule. Liberation of this country. This was where it was supposed to begin. This is where freedom could have been born.
Yeah, a lot of this that I talk about the missing and cut content, it is very well documented. But again, they're going to talk about creating context and such in a little bit. And I feel like, yeah, we do need to create some context here as humans talking to each other, forming our own opinions.
The founding principles of this
And
country.
yeah, so I like to point out things like that. But it's still not great for the final product, because if you don't know that playing it, you're like, what the hell was that jump cut? Why are they looking at flagpoles of nothing?
We're all born with an expiration date. No one lasts forever. Life is nothing but a grace period for turning the best of our genetic material into the next generation.
Solidus is a very interesting character because he has accelerated aging that I believe, like, from birth is just doubled. So, for example, when he was leading child soldiers in the late 80s, he would have been you know, he would have been visually in, like, say, his late 20s, mid-late 20s, but he would have only been in his teens. So I think there's something interesting to be said about Solidus as a character. You know, he was leading a platoon of child soldiers. Maybe he didn't see a problem with that morally because he himself was a child soldier. Maybe he robbed Raiden and countless others of their childhoods, but did the Patriots not rob his childhood from him? I don't know, we'll never get to talk about this because no one talks about Solidus. All I'm saying is, he's cooking here. I don't think he's completely insane.
I want my memory, my existence to remain.
Because he knows he's got his extremely short life, and he just wants to do something with it. He's had an eternal midlife crisis since he was 12 years old, man.
But the Patriots would deny us even that.
You're panning up to nothing again.
I will triumph over the Patriots and liberate us all, and we will become the Sons of Liberty!
Yeah! There it is, title drop. Oh, we got a codec call now.
Raiden, are you receiving? We're still here.
How's that possible? The AI was destroyed.
Only GW.
Who are you?
To begin with,
He's barely older than Raiden. Yeah, I think that's an interesting plot point.
over the past 200
Oh
years,
boy, he's gonna say some shit here.
formed layer by layer in the crucible of the White House. It's not unlike the way life started in the oceans 4 billion years ago. The White House was our primordial soup, a base of evolution. We are formless. We are the very discipline and morality that Americans...
He says a lot of things really fancy, but all he's just saying is, hey, we are the government propaganda machine, and now we're a literal machine. So, you know,
if you're immortal, why would
you can't really kill us, and you can't really blame us, because we're just an idea, bro. That's all he's really saying. And that's where the theme of memes comes into play.
What?
Again. Which, again, I bring up the themes, I bring up the narrative themes, because I want you to know I'm not a dipshit just trashing on a game that's too smart for me. I do get the game. I will give them credit when they
started with genetic engineering.
when something they say hits, when one of the themes works. But it doesn't change the fact that the pacing, I mean, it's been 38 minutes since I've touched the controller. It's been 38 minutes, brother.
Genes don't contain
It's not over
any
yet.
history.
It's not over yet, Snake. There's still are more cutscenes to... Yeah, anyway.
We've always kept records of our lives through words, pictures, symbols, from tablets to books.
But not all the information was inherited by later generations.
Yeah,
A
so
small
again,
percentage of the
what
whole
they're
was selectively
saying...
processed, then passed on. Not unlike
Again,
these
it's
really.
poignant
That's what history is, Jack.
when, yeah, you know, when you're a teenager who just discovered politics.
Accumulating every second.
So when I
Preserved
first
in
played
all
this
their
game, I also
process,
did think it was very
never
smart.
fading,
And I don't
always
think what they're
accessible.
saying is truly
Rumors about
incorrect.
petty issues, misinterpretation, slander.
All
I
this
just
junk
think
data
that...
presered in an unfiltered state,
I don't know,
growing
like,
at
yeah,
alarming
bro, we
rate.
know the internet's filled with
only
shit.
slow
We
down
know
social
cable news is
progress,
filled with shit.
reduce the rate
We
of
know that
evolution.
people are full of shit. I get
seem to
it.
think that our plan is one of censorship.
Are you telling me it's not?
I get it.
You're being silly.
But, you know,
What
that's
we
why you gotta
propose
do
to
things
is
you like
not to
doing, get to
control
shine. It sure
content,
beats fighting
but
with
to
them foes all the
create
time. And that's why I'm here playing Metal
Create
Gear for you.
context.
The digital society furthers human
Maybe not
flaws and selectively
during
rewards
MGS2, but
development of
during
convenient
other
habits
games
of
I'll be having a lot of good
just
times,
like
and I do
restraining
still have
juxtapositions
good
of
times here.
morality around you.
Billions spent on new weapons in order to humanely murder other
Yeah.
humans.
Yeah, we get
Rights
it.
of
You're in
criminals
high
are given
school.
more
We
respect
get
than
it.
the
This
privacy of their
a lot of this feels like it was
Although
written
there
by a
are
high
people
schooler. I
suffering
know
in
that's so
poverty, huge
rude.
donations are made to protect endangered species.
But-
Everyone grows up being told the same thing.
Like,
Be nice to other people.
But beat out the competition.
you
You're
know,
special.
there.
Believe
Yeah,
in
we get
yourself
it.
and
No,
you
it
will
says a lot
succeed.
about
But
society.
it's
Like,
obvious from the
but
start
does
that
it? Does
only
it say?
you
Does
can
it?
succeed.
Does it actually
You
say a lot,
exercise
or
your
does it
right to
actually say
freedom,
very little?
And this is the result.
I
Always
agree
to avoid conflict and
with a
protect
lot
each
of the
other from
points
hurt.
that the game is
The
making. I just
untested
think that they're
truths
not very.
spun by
I don't think
different
it's done
interests
masterfully.
continue to
I'm sorry.
churn
I gotta
and
say it. I
accumulate
don't
in
think
the
this game's a
sandbox of political
masterpiece.
correctness
I think it's a
and
cool ass
values
video
system.
game.
Everyone withdraws into their own small
But,
gated community,
I don't know.
afraid of a larger forum.
I'm not afraid of a larger
Stay
forum. I'm
inside
right
their
here
little
yapping my
ponds,
ass off. I'm gonna
leaking whatever
upload
truth
this on
suits them
YouTube
into
later,
the
so
growing
if
cesspool
people
of
think I'm a
society at
dipshit, they can
large.
say it.
The
Rose,
different
it's okay. It's
cardinal truths
cool.
neither clash
You know,
nor mesh.
I can break the
No one's
meta narrative too.
invalidated, But nobody is right.
Not even natural selection.
No,
can
we
take
argue
place
all the
here.
time.
The
We
world
don't
is being
listen. You
engulfed
guys, I
in
think you
truth.
missed part of the
But
mark
this
on
is the
this.
way the
But
world
anyway,
ends, not with a bang.
he's
but a
not actually
We're trying
any
to
better than a
stop
high
it from
schooler.
happening.
Yeah.
It's our responsibility as rulers, just as in genetics. Unnecessary information and memory must
Sounds
be
too
filtered
high-minded.
out
I think it's just like
to
we're the
stimulate
Illuminati all
evolution of the
along. Am I
species.
crazy? But I
And
thought they
you
just
think
explained the
you're
Patriots as
qualified to
literally an
decide what's
organization running
necessary
things
and
behind the
not?
scenes. So yes, there was at one
Could
point
wait
an
for
organization
guard
known as the
against
Patriots.
retrieve
But
valuable
what
truth,
the Colonel
and
being
even
all,
interpret their meaning
the
from
Colonel
later
AI here
generations.
being all crazy
That's
is
what it
trying to
means to
explain
create
like,
content.
oh, well, yeah, you
I'll
can
decide
like,
for myself
hey, all
what
the,
to believe and what to pass on.
But is that even your
oh, I
own
like this
idea?
part though.
Or something Snake told
I
you.
like that exchange a lot. I like that
That's
exchange
the
a lot.
proof of your incompetence right there. You lack the qualifications to exercise free will.
That's not true. I have the right.
Does something like a self exist in
Again, like they're asking some okay, but it's just like, yeah, okay, we've all had an existential crisis, we get it. I do like the line of, you know, is that something you believe or is that something Snake taught you and Raiden hesitates? The truth is, well, yeah, maybe Snake helped us realize that, but you can't really teach someone something. You can only learn something. So that's a little bit why I have issue with what's being said. But anyway, the Patriots, yes, they were at one point people. They were at one point basically the Illuminati. We'll get into who and what they were and in a later game. But yeah, what he's saying is we are no longer them. We are a collective consciousness. You know, kill the Patriots, it doesn't matter. Their memes will be inherited by others. You know, like, and even the Patriots, yeah, they were a group of guys at one point, but, you know, before they were a group of guys, they were a group of ideas that some other guys had, etc., etc. That's all it's saying. It's just, yeah, he's saying it in a very inelegant, very wordy way that it's like, yeah, no, we get it, we get it. You can pass on things that aren't just genetic material. You can pass on ideas, you can pass on concepts.
Have the right to decide?
You've done nothing but abuse your freedom.
You don't deserve to be free.
We're not the ones smothering the world. You
Am I?
The individual is supposed to be weak, but far from
Am I?
powerless. A single
I'm thinking
person
for
has the
myself here,
potential to ruin
because you know
the
you want to
world.
get into the meta narrative. A lot of people just parrot some things some guy said. The idea that this game's a
too
masterpiece.
much power.
You know?
Immature speech.
I've played this game since it
Building a
came out. It's
legacy
been
involves
25
figuring
goddamn
out
years.
what
I
is
have
wanted
made
and
up my
what
own
needs to
mind.
be done for that
Colonel
goal.
and
All
Rose
this you used
and
to struggle
Patriots
with.
and Guy
Now,
watching
you
and
think
you at
that?
home and you 5 years from now watching
You
this
want to
in
control
2030.
human
Yeah,
thought, human behavior.
I do. I did make up my own mind about this game, and I think it's pretty cool, but I think some of it's not really great. I don't think it's as smart. I don't think it's
Fell in
as
love with me just as you
elegant
were meant to,
and
after all.
perfect
Isn't that
as
right,
a lot of
Jack?
people say. And I think the fact it's been 45 minutes since I've had gameplay
rule an
has a
entire
little bit to do
nation.
with that. I think you
What
could design a
interest
better
would a
video
single
game.
soldier,
You know,
no matter how
hey,
able,
hey,
mean
hey.
to us?
I'm exercising my
PS3
free
plan
will.
does not
I like
stand
when his
for
face turns
solid
into a
snake
skeleton, though.
simulation.
Wonder if we'll see any more skull
What it does
faces in the
stand
future.
for
I doubt
is
it.
Selection for societal sanity.
Yeah, they're talking like the architect from The Matrix before the
PS3
Matrix
is a
sequels
system
came
for
out. Yep.
controlling human will and
Hi,
consciousness.
Onika's 5th anniversary chat members. It's true, yeah.
S3 is not you, a soldier trained in the image of solid
Yeah,
snake.
it's the societal whatever. We already
It is
explained
a
this.
method, a protocol that created a circumstance that made you what you are.
Yeah. Yeah, we
So
know.
You see, we're the S3, not you.
No, Ocelot told us this. Again, you want to talk about not a perfectly constructed thing. They keep revealing
Was
things
the final test
that
of
were
its effectiveness.
already revealed. Ocelot said this.
You heard what President Johnson said.
The Arsenal's GW system is the key to their supremacy.
The objective of this exercise was to establish such a method.
Like, we know this.
We used Shadow Moses as a paradigm for the exercise.
I wonder if you would have preferred a fantasy setting.
That would have been pretty kick-ass. Would we have, like, you know,
We chose that backdrop because of its extreme
would we ride up on the
circumstances.
Hydra's back?
It was an optimal test for S3.
Looking downward from this deadly height, never realizing why we fight? Could that have happened?
Control and solve this. It would be ready for any contingency. And now we have our.
But yeah, again, Ocelot already said this. He already said that there was no room for error, that it needed to suppress.
Right.
We know this,
There are
guy.
also reasons behind your selection.
And we know this, too.
Solidus raised plenty of other child soldiers. Do you know why we chose you over them? It was because you were the only one who refused to acknowledge the
Yeah,
past.
we know.
All the others remember what they were and pay for it daily.
But you turn your back on everything you don't like.
There's nothing
You
wrong
do
with
whatever
that.
You, like.
You gotta
See
spend
only
your
the things you
time
like,
looking at things
and
you
for
like.
yourself
I like
alone.
this game enough to play it again,
Rose
you know?
can attest to that.
You
I'm just
refuse
talking to the
see
game
me
now
for what
because, I mean,
was.
it's part of the
I
meta-narrative,
lied
right?
to
It's
you,
part of the
But
themes.
I wanted to be caught. You pretended to be understanding, to be a gentleman. You never made a conscious attempt to reach out to me. The only time you did was when I gave you no choice but to do so.
I was just trying not to.
What? Trying not to hurt me? Dear, the one you were trying not to hurt was yourself. Avoiding the truth under the guise of kindness is all that you did. It occurred to you to do nothing but look out for yourself. Even if you claim that it was for my sake, that feeling was nowhere to be seen. In the end,
So you're
everything
telling
was
me
for
that
yourself.
memes are like
I was
genes,
never part
but
of
for
it.
ideas? Yeah. Is that something you believe, or is it just something Wooly told you? I say smugly to the person saying the VTuber can skip DMC2. Yeah, 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 yeah.
The fiction we provided, obeyed our orders, and did everything you were told to. The exercise is a resounding success.
Didn't I tell you that GW was still incomplete? But not anymore.
See,
thanks to
it's
you.
weird because they're reusing the voice clips from this game, but they're not using the ones from the first game.
Nothing but byproducts. The
So
real
even that
objective
would have worked a
was
little
ensuring
better
that
had
we
we,
generate and
but whatever.
manipulate them.
He's still yapping.
It's
He's
taken
still
a lot of
yapping.
Time and money, but it was well worth it considering the results. I think that's enough talk. It's time for the final exercise. Raiden, take Solidus down.
Okay.
Again. I'm through doing what I'm told.
No, you're gonna kill him anyway.
Aren't you forgetting something?
If you die, my child.
It kind of sucks, you know. Again, maybe the game could have given us like a secret multiple endings or something, but no.
Not to mention the death of
Again, like what is the point then? When a game tells you you're an idiot, you're just following orders, right?
Of course I do.
But then all you can do is follow the orders. When the game doesn't give you like a hidden
It
path,
will be a fight to the death.
what is the joke? Do I just turn the game off and stop playing?
We will collect the necessary data from this last fight. Then we'll consider the exercise closed.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Jack the Ripper, will it be Solidus, the Patriot's creation, or you, Solidus's creation? Our beloved monsters, enjoy yourselves.
Well,
Jack,
so we already know it's a bad idea to fight him. But we're going to because, yeah, the game doesn't give us a choice, right?
Replicates of evil genes. You are one of a kind, but still a monster, shaped by a dark and secret history. We need to decide which monstrosity will have the privilege of survival. By the way, Jack.
Oh, here we go. Emotional manipulation time.
I was the one who killed your parents.
Yeah, that's it. No, we could have come to a resolve, but no. No, we had to...
For my own and raised you as a soldier.
We could have tried... No, game doesn't give us anything. They're just going to say you're an idiot for doing the video game objective, and then they're not going to give us an option to not do the video game objective. I don't really like that. I don't. You can obfuscate the alternative choice. But, you know.
Unless you kill me and face your past, Jack.
I like that artwork, though. That's really cool.
You'll stay in the endless loop. Your own double helix. It's time we were both free.
Well, you know, since we're all about subverting expectations and narrative themes and player choice, you know, that's been a running theme, hasn't it?
I have other reasons.
If I'm complaining so much about,
the clues to the Patriots inside GW have been erased, but there are other
not being able to make an alternative choice.
Inside you.
Oh, so he still wants us dead anyway, because our brain has some information.
In your cerebral cortex and throughout the neural network
well, it looks like there really is no way around this. I guess we do have to fight him. I really thought, you know, there would have been some alternative, but...
Brace yourself.
Nope, we gotta do it. We can't just stop playing the game, can we? We can. We can just stop playing the game. We're gonna save.
Jack, are you okay? How's your murdering going?
And we're gonna subvert some expectations. Because we're not gonna beat the game today. We're gonna see how it goes.
Be strong. Whatever happens, don't forget that my life's at stake too. Try to do something for me for a change.
We are going to do something for you, Rose. We're going to just stop playing the video game. And we're going to see. We're going to see if in 1 week's time the timeline has been preserved, if it's changed. And if not, then I guess we got to kill the old man. But we'll be doing that next time.